Yes, we can see it.
You are able to see, right? Okay. So, hi, good afternoon. I'm Priyanka Sharma. So, I'll start with my presentation for the SAP IBP. So, in that, we have the model configuration. So, the model configuration to create a planning area. So, we have the attribute, master data type, time profiles, then creating the planning area, the planning levels. We have some key figures creating, and we also have the planning operators. So in the planning, and these are the planning models. So the attributes are like a field or the characteristic of a particular, like any of the product or anything, any characteristics of any of the product. Then master data type is the collections or the characteristics which we have created in the attribute. So gathering it together and adding it in one of the product or location or customer, anything. Time profile, we use it because to view the planning on which stage do any of the company or any one of it wants to know. Then planning area is the structure where all the attribute, master data, key figures are configured and we can check the data. The key figures are the key figures where the data is been stored and we can view the data. Planning operator is used to copy the values or the data from one key figure to the another in the same planning area. So here's the attribute. So in the model configuration, you can get the attributes. You can select create an attribute. Then master data type. So in same model configuration, you can go inside the data type. You can create the one master data and you can add the attributes which you have created. There are like two three types of master data. There are simple, compound, reference, but for now I have used the simple, only the simple, and the compound are the combination of like two or three uh, master data. And one of the attribute of the master data should be a key, like a root, it should be unique. Time profile and time period. So we need to create the time profile as per how we want it. Like, do we have to see on the week level, month level, or the quarter, year as per that? So we can create it going into the time profile in the model configuration, and we can create it and run in the application jobs. Then creating a planning level. So planning level, we can create it using two types. Like we can go into the planning areas in model configuration and we can create a new planning area where we can assign the attributes, planning levels, key figures we can create it. We can create this snapshot. And the second way is we can copy the existing, there are nine existing, but here I have copied the one which is SAP IBP one. So we can copy it and we can create a planning area which includes mostly all the key figures, planning levels, everything. Then planning level. So planning level is needed to view the data according like week, month, anything we need it. And it is the combination of the week and plus the planning level which we create, like the prod log cast, prod level, or the prod log level, or uh, broadcast level, any level we get. Then key figures. So there are many key figures. So for now, I have used the key figure for the first one and the helper key figure, where helper key figure typically mostly used for the combinations. Like I had used it in the IBP shift one, where I was not able to do directly. So I used at that time. It helps and it works. Then you can in the key figure. So if we select the stored key figure, so we can able to select the edit allowed, like which editable we wanted, like not editable, system editable, or editable in past. And if we select the calculated, so it is we cannot change anything, and we can add the calculation in the below tab. So here it is. So calculation definition. So request is the default one, which is the inbuilt, where it allows to load and view the data from like any planning level. It is the higher level of the planning level. Mm, yeah. So now it's the demand planning. So the process of the demand planning is to first load the sales history. Then there is a data cleansing done. Then the time series analysis is there. Then statistical forecasting will run. Then the forecasting adjustment is needed. If it is needed, then it is done, and that is covered into the final forecasting. Then we can take the snapshots to view it, and there are some custom errors and reviews done, and then it is released to the supply planning. So demand planning process, first we have the load sales history. So here we can like upload the data using the data integration job, or we can manually update the data from the master data workbook. And in the companies, in the projects, it is the CIDS is used to transfer the data from the ERP to IBP. Then there is the second is forecasting model configuration, which includes the first is data cleansing history. So there are two types of data cleansing history. One is automated and one is manual. So in automated, we have the missing substitute values algorithm, where the data, if there is a missing data or some data is incorrect, so we can, if we feel it, so you can see here, right, the actual quantity, the data for the week 37 is missing value. So we can not we can this is the algorithm, so it will, according to the other values, it will update the value. And the second is outlier correction, where some like unusual data is there, like high data or the low data, something is there, or due to some season happened last year and we are predicting for this year, but this year there is like we have to predict. So last time if it went higher, so we can't predict like this year also it can go higher. So for that we can use the outlier correction, where if there are some different values, it will adjust it. And outlier correction also are done in the two way, which is the first is the IQR test, where the values are like divided into two half, and first we calculate the Q1 and Q3, and then the subtraction for the IQR we do it for Q3 minus Q1, and then we can use the multiplier as 1.0, 1.5, 1, 2, any number, and we can get the upper bound and lower bound to like predict the like what happened last year, so the cleansing can happen. Then even the same variance test, we can get the upper bound and lower bound, and so that it can adjust the data according to it. And now the second one was the manual mode, where we can go to the Excel and load the history, and manually we can correct the data. So you can see, right, the data is like here it is 32. That is not matching to the range of the given. So we can manually correct the data here. The second one in the forecasting is the statistical forecasting. So the first one we did was the pre-processing steps. After that, there is a statistical forecasting. So statistical forecasting, there are like many algorithms like exponential, single, triple, double, then smoothing algorithm, simple average. So many algorithms are there. So the statistical forecasting is mostly done on the final actuals after the override or any like values to be replaced or updated. And once the statistical forecasting is done, then the data is like copied into the local demand key figure, where the local demand planner predicts its like forecasting, or if there is any update or any correction to be needed. So he does into the another key figure, which is the local demand override. And if he don't want to, like, there is no correction in that, so the local demand key figure which was copied from the statistical forecasting, it gets copied to the final local demand plan. Once that is completed, so after that it is passed to the global demand key figure. The global demand planner reviews it, and if any adjustments to be made in the global demand plan override, it happens. And after that, the it gets copied to the final global demand plan. And once everything is completed, the final consensus happens where everyone has agreed to the data, what is the final global plan is, and then it is published. So you can see here. Oh, so here in the managed forecasting model, there are pre-processing step, which was the history cleaning, the forecasting step where we are taking the actual quantity. Uh, then we are saving this in the shipment forecast moving algorithm, where I have taken the simple moving average algorithm to run the statistical forecasting. After that, there is a ex post forecast where we can review and get the errors if anything is not wrong in the statistic forecasting. So this can be error can be taken in any of these steps, like in the pre-processing also, in the statistical also. So, and there are types of errors also. For now, I have used the MAPE one. Okay, so ABC XYZ segmentation. So ABC XYZ segmentation is a method which is used to, like, categorize products based on the revenue and the sales, how much sales have been done. So ABC is mostly the which is based on how much money or the how much revenue, higher the revenue, it is assigned like that. So A is the maximum revenue maker, B is the medium one, and C is the lowest one. So you can see in the example, like product, there is a product ID is there, name is there, category and price. So name milk, muffins, and dry fruits. So the price you can see. So milk has 20, muffins has 30, and dry fruits has 20. So the maximum revenue maker for this is dry fruit. So dry fruit is considered as A. The muffins is, oh, I guess I made it something wrong. Okay. So muffins is the B and milk is the C one. Same way, XYZ is done to stick how much the sales is happening, how much the sales is happening, the quantity is sold. So greater the quantity, it is defined like that. So greater one is the milk, so it was defined as a X, which is more frequently or more it is sold. Then it is the muffins, and dry fruit is the less one, which is the Z. And this ABC XYZ is mostly done like once in the 6 months or once in a year, not on the regular basis. CIDS process. So CIDS, like, there's a cloud-based data service where it is used to, like, transfer the data from the ERP system to IBP, and this is done in the projects in the company, where you can see the ERP which transfers the data, master data and transaction data to CIDS, and after that it transfers the data to the IBP. Mm. Then it is project demand planning details. So I'll directly go here. Yeah. So the first is to load the master data, and So the master data will be loaded, and the shipment history and the master data will be loaded from the ERP to IBP using the CIDS. So shipment history will have the sales history, which is the actual. Then shipment override will have the adjustment if adjustments are required. If we see the data, we want to like add more data or anything. Then backlog order is the sales history which is not yet delivered to the customers. And shipment forecasting. So the shipment forecasting then done on the finals actual. After the override gets calculated to the finals actuals, and on that the forecasting is done. We can use like any of the models like single, moving, doubles, best fit, or there are many. And these are the same. It will happen. It is the baseline for the local demand plan. It will calculate the local demand plan, and if there is adjustment required, it is done by local demand planner. And once that is done, it will be copied to the global demand planner, and from there it will after that the shipment forecasting is completed for the final global. Then it is copied to the marketing forecast quantity, where the marketing team predicts their own forecast to the adjustment to the statistical forecasting. The marketing forecast does the override also if there is any adjustment or any of the data needs to be updated. And the marketing forecast, they uploads the booking like a when the customer uh, gives the booking date or booking quantity, how much it wants. So they uploads it, and marketing forecast NBD key figure is there where the shipment, like when we have to deliver it. So the shipment date is there, and the date is calculated using the like period shift, which is mostly the lead time key figure. So attribute. So the period shift is like a time taken after the booking date till the shipment to the customer happens. So we can use the period shift by a shift and attribute or key figure also. So here you can see like the actuals are for the month of Jan, Feb and March. The lead time which is given is for the one. So it will shift from 1 month. First the P2, the actuals are there and the lead time is given for 3 months. So the values will be shifted by 3 months. For P3, it's 5. So actuals will be shifted by the 5 months. Okay, so here you can see like after the shipment forecasting is done, statistical one. So the data is copied to the marketing forecast quantity, and then in the marketing NBD you can see. So here what I have done is, so here I have given the lead time as 8. So by 8 it shifted from DC. So as it is, we are getting the lowest level is a week level. So we are checking it as a month. So it got April to May shifted in NVD. So also there are backlogs. If there are backlog orders, so those are also there. If the buffer is also calculated, added, if it is there. And once this marketing forecast quantity is done, the NBD is completed, the NBD and if the backlog are there or the buffer, so all the three gets calculated in the CDP quantity, which is consensus demand plan, where you can see this data where I have the backlog order and the NBD. here which it gets calculated NBD plus backlog ratio, which is taken on the backlog order. It, these two are calculated and added in the CDP quantity. If there is again this override is required to adjust the data, the override that is done. And once that is done, then the final value is copied to the CDP quantity final. Once everyone agrees to the CDP quantity finals, then it is published to the supply planning. And yeah, the snapshots are also taken to, like, if we have done today, if we did this statistical forecasting 2 week, so last week if I have done and taken this snapshot, and today if I have done again the statistical forecasting, so I can take again the snapshot and I can view the difference, like what was yesterday and what was today. So we can save that. Yeah, so I have added the application job template, where I have like scheduled the job template to run on like every Monday. So here you can see we have to first go to the application job template to create a new template. So I have added the steps, which is the statistical forecasting. First is the cleansing history, then forecast automation, then statistical forecasting is done, then snapshot operator is done, then copy operator is done. So here in each step, so once these steps are created, so in each step we have to add the details of the planning area. We have to create the filters on, like, based on what we have to search. Like we can add, I want to just see this product on this location and for this customer. We can even add like this, or just I want to see the uh, FG 126 product on all the DCs. So we can just get the filters. Also, so here there is a statistical forecasting one. So here I have added the forecasting model which to be run, and the calculation level also I have added, like broad, log, cust, and on what I have wanted to see on the week level I want to see. So this is, so all three done, and then we can just check once where if there are any errors or no, and if not, then you can just save it, and then we can go to the application jobs in the model configuration, and we can just, here you can see, you can get your demand planning template, job template, where if you want to start immediately, you can just click here and start it. If you want to, like, uh, schedule it, so you can go into define recurrence pattern, where you can schedule here the timing, the date and the time. You want to do daily, hours, per hour, or weekly, or monthly, you can add it over here. And yeah, then you can just then every Monday or everywhere, whenever you just have defined it, it will just run it. Yeah, thank you. Hello.
Yeah, Priyanka. Think it's good. I really like the flow that you had explained. I think you had covered most of the demand planning part, right? Like the configuration where you
Yeah.
mainly focused on.
Yes.
Right. And yeah, a couple of points we're just trying to
Mhm.
highlight. It's like um, maybe you can go to slide number 3. Yeah, here. So here you're talking about this planning model, attributes, master data type, and
Mhm.
all these things, right? So basically, these are the things technically with respect to IBP, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So you also try to focus on explaining these things with respect to any business model. Like when you say master data type, right? So
Okay.
here you're explaining the product. So
Mhm.
what could be the thing with respect to a business? Like in a
Okay.
let's say any business scenario. So
Okay.
they sell the product, right? So that is
Hmm.
that we call it as an entity,
Hmm.
and they plan at a location, right? Location is an entity,
Okay.
and they
Okay.
sell it to a customer, right? So
Okay.
these are
Okay.
all becomes your master data.
Yeah.
So similarly, like the key figures, like yeah, these are you had explained. I think it's calculated and then the stored one. So I think that
Yeah.
that is good. And yeah, if you go to subsequent slides where you are explaining the things where they're making the adjustments and the key figure flow I'm talking about.
Key.
Uh,
Yeah. This one.
yeah. So this is the technical part, and you had explained where you bring in the sales history and all those things, right? In the I think it's in the later
Demand.
part. Right,
Yeah.
the forecasting and all these things. So here you can focus on again at what level that you are bringing the sales information, right? So it's not standard across the different companies or different projects. So if you go to the slides where you're
The level which you're telling is the one level like a week level or like this or the different level you're telling.
yeah, so let's say we bring in the sales history at the week prod log customer level.
Hmm.
Okay, that is the lowest level where the standard key figure is.
Hmm.
Okay, now after that you had mentioned that local demand planner going to put some adjustments,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So usually again it depends from project to project or company to company, the level at which they do the adjustments.
Hmm.
Okay, they won't go to the lowest level. So let's say you have product, customer, and the location. The combination of them might be in thousands, right?
Hmm.
They won't be going into these detail level for every thousand combinations. They won't be doing the adjustment, right?
Hmm.
They will be doing it at a certain level. So you can also talk about the level. They will be doing it a level where it could be a country level or it could be a sales org level,
Okay. Okay. Understood.
right?
Understood.
Yeah, they
Hmm.
will be doing the adjustment at the higher level, and that will be uh, drilling down. So, and also you can add a point about the disaggregation, how aggregation and disaggregation going to happen in IBP. That is an important thing because
Oh. Hmm.
that is how when the adjustments are made, they put the things at the higher level, right? So it could be a product family level. When you put a number over there,
Hmm.
how those number will get disaggregated to your lowest level.
Okay. Okay.
So those things also you can
Yes.
focus on.
Yes. Yes.
And can you go to application template? There you
Uh,
have mentioned
okay.
you
So
created
this one.
right here. I'm just trying to get your understanding. Like you had put the statistical forecasting first and then forecast automation.
Actually, the one where I'm doing, so I did not found any cleansing history for now. So
Okay.
that's why I added your statistical forecasting. And
Uh,
for now, explaining, I just told that this is the cleansing history.
okay, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just trying to understand. Like, yeah, this is where you run your cleansing part first and then doing the automation.
The
Uh,
automation is the pre-processing step where we are doing the outliers and this, and then
right,
the
right.
statistical forecasting. Then we take the snapshots for the statistical one, and then we can copy the like from statistical we copy it to the any marketing one or local one demand
Yeah.
planning. So we can use the copy operator.
Right, right, right. So basically, you can divide this entire demand planning into three categories, right? So three phases I can call. So one is the pre-demand planning or pre-processing steps,
Mhm.
whatever that comes under pre-processing before you run the stat models. So that is where your cleansing part will come, forecast automation, all these things,
Mhm.
and then the stat forecasting and post that post stat forecasting. What are the things that you're gonna do? Like you're gonna update or do this consensus planning, right? So basically, you can divide this entire demand plan into three parts and then start diving into each of these. So that's how it will be easier.
I didn't get. So the first part is okay, right? The cleansing history. Then you told in the forecasting.
So pre-processing, so generally, as per the SAP best practices of the standard things,
Huh.
SAP has divided this demand planning part into three steps. One is a pre-processing steps. That is where you the stat models and all, you're going to run it in the statistical model. That's the middle one. Okay. So before that, whatever the things that you prepare for running the statistical forecasting, right? That's all comes into the pre-models.
Yes.
Okay, that's a preparation that you do to run the demand planning. So second part is you run the demand planning. That is your running the stat models and all. And
Yes.
after you run it, the next part is post.
Post where the errors are like.
Where it could be the errors or it could be the adjustments. All those fall into the third one.
Okay.
Okay. So that's how it will be easier for you to explain.
Okay.
But overall, yeah, it's good. So you stick to the flow and then you explain the things in very detailed and clear manner. Good one.
Okay.
So Pankaj, you want to add on? I think Pankaj also seeing it's the first time, right?
Yeah, Pawan, what was that?
No, I just given the feedback to
Yes,
Priyanka.
correct. Yeah, no, I think your points are valid and good that those points can be incorporated. I also have one slight input on the project part. So you have nicely created the slides. The fact that you have put all the screenshots, etc., helps it to visualize what you are talking. There are just little bit of definition correction, which obviously can be different because you have just heard one session about that. But other than that, the way you have captured the slides for the project part is really good. Having the screenshot is helpful in understanding the flow.
Right. Which one are telling
The project part, the shipment project details. Yes. So this part, yes. So it could help to have a better definition to each of these, which you anyways cover when you go to the other slides.
Okay, so this slide you're telling to
This slide. So if you see this slide here, there is a flow. So shipment history is coming, then forecasting happening. So somebody who, when you take us through this slide, you actually give the overview of everything. So what happens to the shipment forecast? Then there is a marketing forecast. So this is the overall flow. And then when you go to the next slides, you actually explains how these things happens. So these are very nicely represented along with the screenshot. So these slides are very good. You can spend a little bit of more time on the first slide where you can explain the overall flow.
I can. Yes,
in more detail. Yeah, Pawan, that's all from my side.
Right. Yeah.
Very nice. Very good, Priyanka. Thank you. And then we can now go to next. Yes. Kshitij, we can start with you now.
Yes, sharing my screen.